Broadcasting live from the steam vents on the plain of Ravnica, this is Tap Tap Concede. I am Graham, and I am joined by, I'm going to point so there's no confusion this time,
Ben!
And
Nelson.
Ha! And today we're going to talk about all kinds of things. We're going to talk a little bit about the recent Arena, well, the ongoing Arena Chronicles events, the story time, Ravnica story time on Arena, and also the retail cost of Modern Horizons, and anything else that we think of while we're chatting.
Yeah, we are known to go on a couple of tangents and whatnot, so there's no worry there.
I actually just want to take a brief aside here and talk about how proud I am of myself for saying my name when Graham pointed at me earlier. I don't know if you were watching that part, but it was a big moment for me. Mm-hmm. So, yeah,
Good
I
job.
hope that you enjoyed it.
And speaking of proud, we're very proud to be sponsored on this team.
By
we call that a re-way. It was a segue into getting back on track.
By Card Kingdom. Check out cardkingdom.com/LRR for if you need to buy singles. They'll ship sealed product anywhere in the U.S., and they'll ship singles anywhere in the world.
The whole world.
Very fast. And we recommend them and work with them and let them sponsor us, basically, because we think they're great. We use them ourselves. And buttons are back in stock. Finally, we may have spoken too soon on that, but the current button is Mo'u needs to go Planeswalkies. And
Mo'u? Need to go Planeswalkies?
Mo'u? Mo'u?
Mo'u?
It depends on...
Who's a good doggo?
Mo'u. When you're walking Mo'u, do you think he's like normal little cute pupper from the background of the Planeswalker art, or like real thick boy?
He's
from
thick
his,
boy.
Like,
Depends on which neighborhood you go to.
I wonder if he's kind of like... I wonder if that's kind of like a mode that he goes into. You
That's
know,
a
like
+1/+1 counter.
Well, yeah, it's like Tiny Dog in back of art is normal Mo'u.
Yeah.
And then like if stuff goes down, he like suddenly juices, like he just inflates kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I think the art kind of tells a story where it's like Jiang Yu normally looks kind of like me. Like Jiang Yu is just a planeswalker with a soft, shitty body. And if he puts one +1/+1 counter on himself, he's like, okay, now I'm Adam Savadan. But if he puts one +1/+1 counter on Mo'u, Mo'u goes from being frickin' like Chase into like the Mo'u art from the creature Mo'u. So, yeah.
I love that your
That's my headcanon.
frame of reference was Paw Patrol.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Who has
Oh,
children?
okay.
Who has children? We do.
Hi.
I was like, I was like, oh, okay, Chase.
Sure. Yeah. He's a German Shepherd from Paw Patrol.
He's a cartoon dog who's very small and cute.
Yeah.
Kind of like Mo'u in the background of the Planeswalker GNU art.
And this show is brought to you by you and your kind support of our
You did
Patreon.
this.
And your patience.
At patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. We really appreciate it. Let's start off with a Crack-a-Pack.
Yeah.
And great.
This is going to count.
You just rolled it right off there. What is it?
It's 19.
Wow, that's right to the end, because I know there's exactly 20 in here, and this is a pack of, Snap. Cold Snap.
Oh, we just
Cold Snap.
We played some Cold Snap not too long ago.
Yeah.
Kind of like last weekend at the PPR.
This is from Zach, a.k.a. Barcode Reader 321, and I believe this was sent to us in mail time.
Oh, you guys actually played Cold Snap
The starter
theme
decks.
decks, didn't you?
Yeah.
That was amazing. Shout-outs again to whoever it was. Who sent those? Was it just a fan, or was it Card Kingdom?
Victor.
It was Vic Folio.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
And my deck was cool, but did not do anything relevant on the stream.
Adam's deck was powerful.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Vic.
Yeah.
So Cold Snap, as a brief TLDR, Cold Snap was made in
2005?
2006 as the third set of the Ice Age block. At this time, blocks were 3 sets, and Wizards did this thing where they were like, well, there was Ice Age and Alliances, and then nothing else happened. And they even, apparently at the time, they were even like, oh, we found this card file that's been hiding in a like
Storage locker.
in cold storage for many years, and here it is. And so they were sort of like playing up like this is the long lost third set of the Ice Age block.
Rosewater even like let out this whole article where he explains that there was this put away file that they then got back out, like a prank article. It was great.
Yeah. So it was not the case, but it is the third set of the Cold Set block, even though it came out years later.
For legality, it's like the 4th set of Ravnica? Ravnica City of Guilds, I think. I think it came out right before Time Spiral. It's either that or right before Lower Run. I think right before Time Spiral is right.
So there's some unique mechanics in it some very parasitic mechanics as well that like only work within the block, such as Surging Ether has, I'm just looking for the position, there it is, has the ability Ripple. So Surging Ether is 3 and a blue for an instant, return target permanent to its owner's hand with Ripple, which is when you play it, you reveal the top 4 cards of your library, and if you hit another copy of this card, you get to play it for free, and then that also ripples.
Yeah.
So the idea is that in draft, because it's a small set, so the idea is if you draft Cold Snap, you'll end up with many, many copies of the same card, and there's 2 different mechanics that both do stuff based on having multiples of the same card, such as Ripple.
Yeah, this card was in Adams.
Yeah, this blew me
intro
out
deck.
big time.
And if you stumbled on land, he punished you hard by bouncing your lands and
Yeah.
every once in a while getting 2 off.
Target permanent.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at the MTG wiki page for Cold Snap. It was saying because of the weird structure of the block, in Cold Snap being so much later, of course, Ice Age and Alliance's boosters were actually in pretty short supply.
Yeah.
Very short.
So most of the time it was actually just drafted out as by itself.
3 packs
Yeah.
of this tiny set.
Which
yeah,
is why they
and-
designed it like that.
Yeah, in fact, it had the shortest design cycle of any set. 6 weeks.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
That explains a couple things.
The lost set, lost design, lost card file thing apparently was something Mark Rosewater said, and then later had to actually explain that it was a joke.
Yeah.
Because everyone thought it was serious.
I believe that, yeah. That sounds about right. Next is Zombie Musher.
Yeah.
3 and a black for a 2/3 snow creature zombie with Snow Landwalk. And for a single snow mana, regenerate Zombie Musher. And as the reminder text tells you, snow mana can be paid with 1 mana from a snow permanent. So a snow mana is any color, but it has to come from a snow permanent. So a snow covered land, or like there's a like Boreal Druid is a snow elf. There's in Modern Horizons there's the Arnim's Astrolabe, which makes mana. That you can actually use that to filter non-snow mana into snow mana.
Yeah.
And then, Zombie Musher's actually all right.
This guy is one of the cards that I thought of when Modern Horizons got fully spoiled.
Oh, that was gonna come
because
back?
Snow Landwalk is suddenly a bunch more relevant than it used to be. I'm thinking mostly for Commander, but
That's the thing. I'm genuinely curious now if because of the reprint of the full art Snowlands, if everyone's just going to be like, oh, well, I'll just run Snowlands because they're pretty and stuff like that as my full thing. And if you're just, how many people are just going to get got by someone being like, I'm going to run a couple Snowlandwalk creatures in here just to see.
Yeah.
Just to see.
Orcish Blood Painter.
Ooh.
2 and a red for a 2/1. Sacrifice a creature. Orcish Blood Painter deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Cool. We have a snow-covered plains because, again, in this set, as in Modern Horizons, you need to actually draft your snowlands. You can't just add as many as you want.
takes up a common slot here, though, not 1 per pack.
Yes. Sound the Call is 2 and a green for a sorcery. Put a 1/1 wolf into play with this creature gets +1/+1 for each card named Sound the Call in each graveyard.
Another collect me card.
So it is a 2/2.
Yep.
Right? You get a 1/1. This card goes to your graveyard. That card gets +1/+1.
Right. So
then if you play another Sound the Call, you make another 1/1. That card goes to your graveyard. Then both your 1/1s are now 3/3s.
Yeah.
Because you have 2 copies of Sound the Call in your graveyard.
So this is an interesting card.
Yes.
To me, because one, it, as we said before, it takes advantage of this is a very small block, so
Yeah.
you'll probably get a bunch. But it also reminds me of, what is it? Really Epic Punch from Unstable.
Oh, yeah.
Because it doesn't have the until end of turn thing.
Well, it's not it's not a.
It's just pumping that creature that you're putting out.
Well, it's a
right?
variable
Yeah.
thing. So if you have 2 in your graveyard, your 1/1 wolf will be a 3/3. If they exile 1 from your graveyard, it goes back to a 2/2.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like stars, right?
Oh,
It's-
so it kind of like sits there a little bit.
It's
Yeah.
because it's with the quotes around it. It's the wolf token has the ability this creature gets +1/+1 for each card name sound they call in each graveyard.
Right.
It's
So
kind of a
it
similar
changes.
static pump. Yeah, it's kind of a similar static pump.
There's a lot of weird cards. Like recently, I was looking at, I think it's Lightning Storm.
Yep.
Which is a very
Important modern card.
Yeah, a very odd card that does things while it's on the stack.
Yeah, barely anything. Chain Lightning's the most common card everyone's familiar with that does something to itself while it's on the stack.
But yeah, Lightning Storm deals X damage to the target creature player, where X is the number of charge counters on it. And when it's on the stack, you discard as many land cards as you want to put charge counters on it to make that first effect happen.
While it's on the stack.
Yeah.
That's so odd.
Yeah.
It's the kill card for some combos in Modern. Most notably, Angel's Grace plus Ad Nauseam. Which I think in Modern is usually just referred to as Ad Nauseam. So it's a deck that just wants to survive until it gets to 6 mana, cast both of these spells, cast Angel's Grace, then cast Ad Nauseam, draw its entire deck, exile 3 Simian Spirit Guides, and then cast Lightning Storm, targeting the opponent and removing enough lands to kill them.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a neat combo deck. It pops up every now and then. It's usually the shell or like the engine kind of requires enough pieces that usually can't survive a ton of hand attack, so it's not the most popular Modern deck, but it's decent. If the format's really fast, playing Lightning Storm is decent. If everyone's just focused on burning each other out,
Cool. Yeah.
just like ramp up to 6 mana and burn them out faster.
Yeah, I've been on a Modern kick, which is why I thought of this card instantly lately.
But it's a weird Cold Snap card for sure. Yeah.
Next up, we have Surging Sentinels. It's a 2/1 with First Strike for 3 with Ripple 4. Getting to get a 2/1 First Strike for 3, which is already fine, and then maybe getting another one for free is actually pretty good.
Yep.
I would stack my deck with as many of these as I could.
Yeah, like it's just so interesting with these in draft, right? Because
Yeah.
it's just like you're a 40 card deck too, so it's like even.
I found this one in my I have drafted this set a bunch. I found this one kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
The issue is just that like these surge spells or ripple spells require slots in your deck, and so if you draft and get lucky enough that you have like 8 of them, and then you get to play on turn 3, you have like 4 2/1 first strikes, that's probably okay. But if you just hit 2 and then you hit 2 again later, it's like, I don't know. I don't want to talk about how you're more likely to draw land, but you do just have only a total number of cards in your deck to win the game. So if your opponent has any good way to deal 1 damage to this one, and they can repeat that, or just, I mean, honestly, if your opponent just plays a 3/4,
I just think that
just
like,
stall the board out, even if you made 5 of them.
in the example of Surging Ether, I think that 4 mana to bounce a permanent is not a great rate, but 2/1 First Strike for 3 is fine.
Yeah, for sure. If this is just a card in your deck, it's fine. But if
Yeah.
it's like your whole plan, like if you had to spend really high picks to get these, so that you could get 8, you might be in trouble. That's all.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I was thinking that I feel like some of the sort of draft matters cards in Conspiracy are almost kind of coming from the same place as Ripple, the sort of idea of trying to reward you for something you did during the draft phase as opposed to actually during the gameplay in some ways.
If we don't get the black common, I'll talk about it a bit.
Yeah,
But let's
please
keep
do.
going.
Things that block Surging Sentinels. Frostweb Spider, 2 and a green for a 1/3 with Reach. Not templated as such, but it's Reach. I assume it's been oracled to having
Yeah, it
Reach.
was a few years before Reach got printed. Yep.
And whenever it blocks a creature with flying, put a +1/+1 counter on it at the end of combat. So if it lives, which generally means they're just not going to attack into it. But hey, that's operating at its like they're not going to attack with a 1/1 flyer.
Yeah.
because then it just dies and your spider gets bigger.
Decent little spider.
Next is Martyr of Ashes, a 1/1 for a single red with an ability for 2 and reveal X red cards from your hand and sacrifice Martyr of Ashes. It deals X damage to each creature without flying.
This is a relevant Pauper sideboard card.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Hey, we have the black one. Surging Dementia.
There we go.
1 and a black for a sorcery. Target player discards a card. Ripple 4. Wow, that art.
Yeah.
That
Super
is-
cool.
Yeah.
Actually, Zombie Musher is still the favorite art that we've seen in this pack so far. I'm just such a huge Kev Walker fan, but this one's really cool too. So this one,
Yeah.
I think, rewards you correctly for picking up as many pieces or as many copies from the draft as you can. You get to cast it on turn 2, and it might shred their entire hand, which is totally nuts in
Yeah.
a limited game.
Yeah.
Getting to Mind Twist your opponent for like 6 on turn 2 is crazy. Even if it only does 2, if it hits 1 extra copy, that's like a slightly worse him to Turak. But then you're going to follow it up again on turn 4 or turn 6 or both, and that's just an effect you want.
Fair enough.
It's totally blank after turn 7, but
Right, when they don't have any cards in their hand.
but I mean the 4-mana blue spell is still really live on turn 7. The white one's not as good, but this one just like the upside of getting it really early and just like winning the game on the back of it.
Turn 2, yeah. It
Like you
seems pretty
can
backbreaking.
hit 6 copies on like a Ripple 4, if you have 8 of them in your deck or something.
I've never drafted Cold Snap, and now I kind of want to.
It's fun
We'll
at least
figure it
if you
out.
do it at least once, yeah.
It's worthwhile to note that there's just the one cycle of Ripple cards
Yeah.
plus Thrumming Stone, and all Ripple cards are Ripple 4. I guess they were like, Ripple, it'll be a great mechanic that will come back over and over again, and but this particular time we'll do it for 4. We never use it again.
Yeah, Thrumming Stone is such a weird card too.
Survivor of the Unseen. We have 2 and a blue for a 2/1 human wizard. Cumulative upkeep, a mechanic nobody asked for.
Yep.
Cumulative upkeep of 2, and you tap, draw 2 cards, then put a card from your hand on top of your library. Ugh.
In the defense of this set, they did do some things with cumulative upkeep that are fun.
They
Yes.
did. They did. They actually did some
red
interesting things
enchantment.
with it.
There's a Jotun Owl Keeper as well, but
Yeah, they did some interesting things with it more than because in Ice Age it was just bad, and now
and,
this is,
and just like this card,
Yeah.
it's just bad.
There's also the red Minotaur, I think.
Oh yeah, Carplucin
Yeah.
Oh,
there's one
Pack Guide or
there's one that
Minotaur or
I had
something, yeah.
that gets bigger. It like gets +1/+1 for each age counter on it, and it has trample, so it gets just real fat.
Is that
Yeah.
Sheltering Ancient?
The Minotaur I like though because it does one of my favorite sort of chaosy style things I've read is it's a coin flippy card.
Oh no! Do you flip coins equal number of age counters?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
And it deals damage. It's like 1 damage for each one. Oh, I'm trying to remember it. It's just the art is literally just a big face.
Yeah, I think it's like Carplucin.
A big face of
Something.
yeah. It is yeah. It's Carplucin. It's
It might
not
be just Carplucin
Minotaur,
Minotaur. It might be
but
that.
Maybe.
Anyways,
Yeah, but it's there were definitely funny things that cumulative upkeep could do. There it is. Yeah, it is just Carplucin Minotaur. Flip a coin. Whenever you win a coin flip, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Whenever you lose a coin flip, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player of an opponent's choice.
Oh, okay. And so it's a 3/3 for 2 red, and the cumulative upkeep is flip a coin. So
Yeah.
on the first turn you flip 1 coin, on the second turn you flip 2 coins. Wow.
Man, slide that into your unstable coin flip deck.
That was the thing. Well, not even necessarily unstable because
Oh, no,
there's the
unstable
you're
is
thinking
dice
of Battle
that-
Bond.
Right.
Because there's the two friends,
Zindersplint.
Yeah, Zindersplint and the
Okaun.
Akun or so.
Yeah. The
That-
Eye
that
of
are coin
Wisdom
flip
and the Eye
matters
of
ones.
Chaos, yeah.
I definitely wanted to build that for a Friday Night Paper Fight, but it requires a lot of very odd coin flippy cards that are shockingly expensive.
You just need to invite Benjamin Wheeler to that.
Yeah,
that
I'm
particular
sure he's
Friday
got
Night
it,
Paper
yeah.
Fight. Yeah,
Time to make a miserable commander deck.
yeah.
Ronom Unicorn is one we've seen functionally reprinted a bunch. It's a 2/2 for 1 and a white. In this case, it's a unicorn, and you sack it to destroy an enchantment. This is Silver Chase Fox, Keening Apparition. This is all a thing that we've seen. Stalking Yeti.
You had this.
Yeah, I had fun with this one. 2 red for a 3/3 Yeti. When it comes into play, if it is in play, which is not relevant text anymore, but whatever, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls, and that creature deals damage equal to its power to Stalking Yeti. So 3/3, when it enters the battlefield, it fights something.
Yeah.
The if it's in play thing is true today.
That's
'cause
right.
If it's not on the battlefield, then it has
can't
no
fight.
power with which to fight. So that's just
It's some old templating.
old templating. But this has a further ability for 2 and a snow mana. Return it to its owner's hand only at sorcery speed, so you can sort of recycle the fight, which is pretty powerful.
It's a decent card, solid card for draft.
It does actually still say when Stalking Yeti enters the battlefield, if it's on the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its.
Weird.
But that shouldn't make a difference. Oh well, whatever.
I'm sure
Well-
there's probably a couple instances otherwise.
I can't think of how that's different from it fights target creature, but
All right.
I'm only a level 2 judge.
Arctic Nishoba, 5 and a green for a 6/6 trample, cumulative upkeep, green or white, and when it is put into a graveyard from play, you gain 2 life for each age counter on it. That seems pretty alright.
like this card.
Decent one.
Yeah.
Not a really decent one. Yeah.
I mean, at 6, if you're casting it for 6, you can pay for the cumulative upkeep for a little while.
Yeah, it's a Colossal Dreadmon with upside.
Yep.
That's a big cat.
That's a
For
very
sure.
good cat.
Yeah.
I guess what it means is if you kill the Yeti immediately,
It doesn't do the fight.
it doesn't do the fight.
But
Yeah.
that's true of anything that says when an ETB is fight target creature.
Right.
Because
yeah.
it goes to do the fight, and then the first thing isn't there to deal damage, so it
Right.
can't deal any damage.
Except this is
That's the
it's-
rules on fight. The rules
It's
on
not
fight say
actually
you
a
have to-
fight though. It's still
Right.
in
Well,
in the Oracle text. It's not a fight.
It's
I
still
thought
not-
of something.
Okay.
So if you have a card that's on the battlefield and has a triggered ability that says when another creature fights a second creature, the Yeti won't trigger it.
Ah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they might have just kept it in there to prevent confusion in case they want to keep the design space of like fight lords, right? Like send to some sort of pit
lords.
master
Ooh, I like
card in
that
the future
idea,
that cares
yeah.
about how often something fights,
All right.
or says whenever your creatures fight, they get extra damage or something. Anyways,
Last uncommon, Vanish into Memory. 2 white, blue for an instant. Remove target creature from the game, so exile target creature. You draw cards equal to that creature's power. At the beginning of your next upkeep, return that card to play under its owner's control. If you do, discard cards equal to its toughness.
What a
This
weird
was reprinted recently, wasn't it?
I think it might be in a Commander box set.
Yeah.
It definitely was created by the community.
Was it?
I think so.
This was the community creation
I'm
card.
pretty sure this is this
Oh.
card got made like
I think
by
you're right.
vote of committee through old like MagicGathering.com.
Was
Right.
Waste not the last one they ever did for that?
Yeah. I
believe so, yeah.
Okay.
You
Modern
make the card.
Masters 2017.
It was in Modern Masters. I knew it. Yeah, because there was a blink deck in Modern Masters.
And I'm pretty sure it's You Make the Card, which is like the name of that.
And our
web series.
Our rare is
Oh, wow.
Sekuar, Deathkeeper.
Hey.
So 5 mana, 2 and the full Jund for a 4/3 legendary Orc Shaman. Whenever another non-token creature you control is put into a graveyard from play, put a 3/1 black and red Graveborn creature token with haste into play.
I love the OG art for this. The reprint Commander one is cool looking, but the original art is really neat.
I don't remember what the new art looks like.
It's
different.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, of course. Okay.
It's like it's good.
Yeah.
I just really like the old feel because it really reminds me of like old high fantasy, like novels and whatnot. You know, very Dragonlance-y.
Oh
very,
yeah,
you
this would be
know.
on the cover of like Scry magazine. or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Exactly. It's
Yeah,
cool.
notably, you don't have to sacrifice the 3/1s with haste. Oftentimes, if you see a 3/1 with haste, the questions then become like, does it have trample, and do I have to sacrifice it?
Right. And this is no and no.
Yeah, and if you have a third question, I'm willing to answer it. No, you don't need to put this into Aristocrats.
Yeah.
You don't need to, but you could.
I like the things that
But don't.
The
Okay.
things that creates aren't skeletons, aren't ghosts, aren't zombies.
No.
They're Graveborn.
I think there might be one other thing that
Does
makes
that token
Graveborn.
exist? If this was reprinted in Commander, did they make a token for
Great
that?
question.
I assume
Probably.
so, yeah.
Probably. They're black and red.
Yeah,
Weird.
3/1 black red Graveborn, whatever that means.
It's
Yeah, 'cause
another
this-
name for zombie.
Yeah. This was one of the alt art or the alternate commanders for the
Like if your
Prosh. Commander deck.
D&D dungeon master is explaining to you what a Graveborn is, like they're describing some sort of zombie, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
surely.
I think that was the best of the precons for like the old for like someone. I think like it's not value. I think value wise the best of the precons was probably Duretti, but
Right.
I really liked the way they built the Prosh
Prosh
deck.
deck, yeah.
It was a lot of fun. So it was like Prosh, or you could run Sekuar, or you got the Shatter Gang brothers,
Oh,
which are,
Shatter Gang brothers
which are
are
like
pretty
super
fun.
fun too.
Shadow Gang, Shadow Gang, Shadow Gang.
Yeah.
So, that is the Crack a Pack, and now we're going to talk a little bit about Arena, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go on to that. So, we're currently in the middle of the third of 5 weeks. Are they week-long events?
I believe they're a week long.
Of the Ravnica Storytime. What are they actually called? Chronicles?
Chronicles, yeah.
Ravnica Chronicles?
I believe, or the War Chronicles,
Okay.
or something like that. Yeah.
And it's sort of telling the story of the set of War of the Spark through these free events
Yeah.
on Magic Arena. Free sounds great. So I believe we previously misreported these as single-player things, which is not the case. But they are free, which is nice. And you can... Why are we looking at Jester's Scepter?
It's from Cold Snap.
It's a cool card.
Maybe because we
Never even heard of it.
we misreported something.
No, it's just under. That was on the card reader.
Paul
Sweet.
just oh wow,
It thinks my hand is a Jester's Scepter. That's weird.
isn't it?
Anyway,
It's probably specifically your mole looks like a jester. Symbol,
so the each of these events is free to enter, and depending on how many wins you get some of the stained glass styles for some of the War of the Spark Planeswalkers. Each of the events has 3 possible. If you do, I think it's 15 wins.
15 wins is the highest.
So it's like 3, 5, and 3, 7.
I think it's 3, 9, and 15 get you a
Thank
style.
you.
No problem. Because
Yeah,
it's
and
6
in
and 12,
in
you get some
between them,
coins.
they've got some gold giveaways as well.
Not a huge amount, but hey, it's something, and it's free to enter, so that's cool. So the first one was Momir, but weird Momir.
Yeah.
So they've had Momir on Arena before, and for those who are unfamiliar with it, Momir, which was a thing that used to happen on Magic Online with the Momir Vig Vanguard avatar.
That's right.
Was that you started the game and you had this avatar in the command zone, and you could, once per turn at sorcery speed, you could pay X and discard a card to create a creature token, a random creature token that the creature was converted mana cost X. And so on Magic Online, people would play Momir Basic, which was just, you had a 60 card deck of nothing but basic lands. And so you basically, it was just rolling the dice. We played this a lot on stream. We would do, the Flottery, because if you rolled on 7s, you were playing the Phage Lottery, because if you got Phage to Untouchable, you just lose the game. And so, yeah, it was super fun, and it's just neat seeing, these creatures from, like, the history of Magic pop up. So on Arena, they have a smaller card pool to choose from. And in fact, I mean, they don't even necessarily have a smaller pool, because, like, Kaladesh was on Arena, but it's not part of Momir. They've
same with Amonkhet.
Yeah, they've disabled any sets that aren't in the thing, which I think is a shame, because it's Momir.
Who cares?
It's goofball Magic.
Yeah.
I would accept this as like a we're in beta concession,
Momir standard.
but I agree with you. There's no point in closing down Momir.
Yeah. So, but this time, this is special Momir, where your deck is 100 cards of all basic land and the 36 Planeswalkers from War of the Spark.
Just 36, not 39, hey? I guess. I don't even know if
39?
the intro deck Planeswalkers are coded into Arena.
No intro
but they
decks
have
and no
Tezzeret.
Tezzeret.
No Tezzeret, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No Tezzeret in Momir.
And so, yeah, I played through all my 15. Did you play all of them?
No, I got stuck at 14 and lost 9 in a row, and I gave up.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry.
so that is the
Wow.
the thing that I was going to talk about
Please.
a little bit. I was not a fan of this one, but I mean, maybe it's just it's a obviously bad string of luck kind of a thing, and I can't necessarily evaluate it on that. But I did find every game almost every game that I got to play first, I usually won.
Yeah.
Every game that I played second, I would lose.
Yep.
And I would try, and you could attempt to even the scales. I would usually go, if I was going second and I knew it was potentially a wash, I would activate the emblem on turn 1 and 2 in an attempt to get a dork to help me out.
Yeah.
But I found out I lost a bunch, and there were 2 matches where I got 6 Planeswalkers in hand and 1 land.
Oh, wow.
And there is no way you win if you mulligan.
You cannot, in Momir, you cannot mulligan and you cannot miss a land drop.
But that's the thing, you could
cannot miss a
mulligan in this.
Yeah, I
which
know.
is
No,
interesting,
I mean,
but yeah.
It doesn't say you shouldn't.
Yeah, oh, right, yes, yeah.
No, I'm saying you can't. Like, as soon as you mulligan or miss a land drop, the game is over.
Yeah.
You can hang out in it. It's just like a game of StarCraft at that point after you've lost most of your buildings. But you can fly the rest away, and you can just type and chat. You can just hello while you don't make land drops or do anything.
I definitely encountered the same thing. Whereas if you went first, I mean, I probably lost 1 or 2 games where I went first, but generally go first, win, go second, lose. Generally speaking, was correct. It was interesting seeing people casting Planeswalkers that didn't do anything. Like, once I saw Saheeli actually do something, because Saheeli only made servos when they would cast other Planeswalkers, but there's a lot of Planeswalkers, like Tameo doesn't really do anything unless you're trying to recycle a Planeswalker.
Ashiok doesn't do anything either.
Ashiok, these decks have 100 cards. Ashiok is not going to do anything. Yeah. So you should be discarding those
To make creatures.
I
had a game where I kind of won with Saheeli. I can't remember if I won that game or not, but Saheeli did something because I had a hand of half land, half planeswalkers. So I led with Saheeli, and then I made like
won a game with Saheeli
4 servos, I think, and then I cloned one of them to attack for 4.
Yeah, I turned it into like the worms or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, there was, because you mentioned making creatures on 1 and 2. I would always make a creature on 2.
Yeah.
And I know that like the consensus was to wait until 3, but I would always make 1.
There's a lot of dorks at 2.
Yeah.
In standard right now.
There's a lot of useful creatures at 2. Yeah.
Even just attacking on turn. Yeah.
Yeah. We had a couple times, I can't remember what mana cost it was, but a couple times my opponent tapped out for something at, I want to say it was like around 5, and then
nothing happened.
And I don't know what creature it was.
Oh, right. Arena doesn't tell you.
So it's under City Raiders. It's the green undergrowth creature that's a 0/0.
0/0. 4 mana haste, and then it counts.
Is
how
it
many?
4 mana?
It's 5.
Honestly, there's probably a few.
There's a couple 0/0s.
There are a lot of cards in every set, right? Like how many Magic cards we all know is like smaller than the number of cards that are legal in standard, right? Like the ones you can think of. You know, these cards aren't getting played at any tables. They're not getting played in drafts, and they're not getting played in standard, right? So
basically, the way that this Momir worked was, you know, you could try to get some value off of your the Golgari Raiders. Oh, they are 4 mana. I'm sorry. Yeah,
but that might not be the only one. They might have tapped 5 and also had a dead creature.
Yeah.
There's blanks in Momir. Like if you play Vintage Momir, there's all kinds of blanks, and Moto will show you because Moto gives like a ticker, like a stock ticker of everything that happens in the game. So you can just scroll up and see like, oh, who did I make? And you're like, oh, is this 0/0? You know, I made the following 0/0.
Yeah, in this case, it didn't even.
In Arena, you don't see it.
Gone.
You just see a Momir avatar activation, and then the opponent has.
So you had to try and win the game before. So getting up around 9 mana, people would start rolling the dice to get Zakama, and Zakama's a big problem because then they can just start activating the red ability on Zakama to start destroying creatures. And if you get up to 10 mana, there's only one creature at 10 mana, and it's the Great Worm, and it's 16/16 indestructible. And then they just start making.
You just keep making that.
They just
turn.
start making Great Worms every turn, and then you lose.
Right.
So yeah, this is the problem with standard Momir is that the card pool is not deep enough. I think.
If you get to that stage in the game, though, I would say you had a good game.
Yeah.
Neither of you could kill each other before one of you got to 10 mana.
But it's
both players played the game at that point.
I think the idea is like Momir is supposed to sort of be a wacky format, and, and I wasn't getting that. I guess like there were certainly times where it was goofy. Like one time I did make a Teysa on 4, which is very funny because while you do have that like effect where, you know, when things die you get double triggers or whatever, but the more relevant thing that everyone forgets is she gives vigilance and lifelink to tokens. So everything is a token.
I didn't forget. I knew what you were talking about. Right?
Yeah. So it's like you get some goofy moments, but this was so far not my favorite of the ones.
That's fair. I had some real goofy moments as well. I can't think of any specifically offhand, but something I did notice on the Magic Arena subreddit, the Arena specific subreddit, is that there was a bunch of people who I wish you'd run into, because there was a bunch of people who, when they completed their 15 wins, they kept playing, and then on like turn 2, when it was clear that their opponent was definitely playing, they would just concede.
Oh, that's
to
nice.
Like help people do. You know, there was a whole bunch of people in the thread be like, "That's a great idea. I'm gonna do that too."
Just hanging out at the top of the ladder, giving an arm up to everyone who wanted the Vivian. That's nice of you.
They're free, right?
Good job, Arena subreddit people.
So I hope there's a way
to get
the
Jace, I think, for Moment, but
who cares? Then?
Sorry, a Vivian for Pauper, maybe. I don't know.
Vivian was Pauper.
15 wins for Pauper. Yeah. Sorry.
So yeah, that was the next one, was the Pauper. So they did that for a week. So then the next one was Pauper, the same sort of breakdown, 15 wins, and you get all three stained glass art styles. The only change over previous Paupers was that Persistent Petitioners was banned. Rat Colony was not banned, so that was exciting. My experience with this was I bashed my head against it with a couple different decks that I just like found randomly on like MTG Goldfish or something, and did very, very badly. And then I built a deck that Cube April tweeted and absolutely destroyed.
Was it mono black control? because that's what I did.
I don't know if it was.
I just had Cube April's mono black control deck from last Pauper, so I played.
It wasn't mono black control. It was mono black. It wasn't mono black control. It was like mono black cards that draw cards.
Yeah. ETBs with Dead Rebels. That's the same deck she's playing.
That was that was the thing I wanted to mention. Like I think a lot of people came out of this with like the all-star of the format was Obnixilus's Cruelty.
That was a good card.
The card was very, very strong. It kills just about anything in the format. This was the one that I lucked out on, or had good fortune on.
Easier time.
Which was I played is it like spell slinging kind of deck that also got a lot of benefits off of wizards.
Okay.
I played it on stream and went from like 0 to like 13. And had like a trouble squeaking out the last couple wins. And so I also had another deck that was played by Merchant that was really, really interesting. It was Golgari Voltron, which basically took Jade Guardian, the hexproofy.
And slapped auras on it?
Yeah, and slapped auras on it. And
Mark of the
there's
Vampire?
also Ward Scale Crocodile. Yeah, Mark of the Vampire, Talons of the reoccurring trampoline +1/+1 enchantment. And then just ran like little things in the early game just to avoid dying quickly.
Generous Stray and the Vampire that draws a card too.
Yeah, those kind of things. And then you just eventually slap on a Mark of Vampire even onto just like a Jade Guardian, and they couldn't do much about it.
That's sweet.
And ended up getting my last ones.
This deck, I pulled it up. Yeah, it was 4 Footlight Fiends, 4 Burglar Rats, 4 Dusk Legion Zealots, which draw you a card, 4 Lazotep Reavers, 2 Severed Strands, 4 Vicious Offering, 2 Spark Reapers, which were an absolute all-star.
Yeah, Spark. Yeah,
because you would just like sack creatures and draw cards and gain like I stabilized on like 3 with this deck like multiple times and then just like ground it back out. 2 Skittering Surveyors, 4 Sky Scanners, 2 of the Cruelties, 4 Dead Revels, and 4 Blade Jugglers, and 20 Swamps. And it was brutal.
Maybe control is not fair. Maybe it's just mono black meat grinder.
A little bit, yeah.
When playing this same deck from last season. I played the list from before War of the Spark, just this week, and it's the same core concept where you just like play ETB effects, and so all your stuff kind of chumps and trades, and then you just get it back with Dead Rebels, and all your guys draw cards. So you're just sort of slowly grinding ahead of your opponent, and it feels like a control deck to me, but it's not like a blue control deck. You just like every turn you're just like trading resources with your opponent in an obvious fashion.
Yeah,
right. You're not surprising them. You're just like, I'm just gonna put these idiots on the table and then draw more cards.
This deck was just a wall to the rat colony too, because it was full of
ones Footlight Fiend, man.
Footlight Fiend was absolutely brutal to the rat colony deck because it killed 2 rats, but also it's just full of 1/1s I don't care about.
Yeah, my spell slinging deck ran Cosmo Wave.
Yeah, the rat colony deck's not actually good. It's just like it's gonna catch you with your pants down if you're not ready for it.
Yeah.
Right? If you're trying to play like a slow deck that's building up to something.
So this is where my sort of, I guess, analysis on the Momir kind of came from. I guess in a storytelling vibe, what they were going for here is like the Pauper was supposed to. I haven't been paying attention to, I guess, the lore. So maybe this would inform that a little bit. I guess what maybe they were going for with Pauper was this supposed to be like the foot soldiers. This isn't about the planeswalkers and stuff like that. This is about the other fights and whatnot that are going on. But what I would have really liked, I guess, would have been like Momir, just regular Momir, maybe without the planeswalkers, and then this to be what people were called like peasant. So it's like uncommons and commons allowed, and then you could have played with uncommon planeswalkers and done some kind of like shenanigans with that, because they haven't really experimented, I guess, with that sort of space. I think it would have been kind of interesting and given a really good time for some of the uncommon planeswalkers to shine a little bit.
I would have liked to have seen them force us to experience more of the story in our deck building. I can't really speak to the Momir. I don't really entirely understand what the point of that Momir event was. I didn't enjoy it that much. It did show you the planeswalkers by putting them in your deck. So
I guess that
fair
was
point.
The point.
Yeah. If you haven't read the spoiler, here's free planeswalkers to play with. They don't all work because you're playing Momir. But in the second week, if they had, like you said, let you say like, hey, pick a side. Are you with or against Bolas? Because there's a bunch of the planeswalkers from War of the Spark that are like Bolas's minions, right? So just choose a planeswalker and then maybe build a deck out of like their cards where they give you like a choice of 200 different possible up to 4 of cards, but you like slim it down to the 60 you want to play, and then you go up against the opposite side in the war. Like, would that be that hard to program? Like, say you like choosing,
Yeah, because I guess
Mirren versus Phyrexian, but Nicol Bolas versus.
Because I guess on the splash
Ravnicans.
page, on the splash page for each of these things is like there's text
Right.
when you join the event, being like, then this part of the story. But you're right in that that's not coming across.
I'm not feeling it. I just feel like I'm playing Pauper
in the gameplay. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get how. Like I could play this Pauper event with all Rivals of Ixalan cards.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's cool that it's free. That's nice. It did teach me this week that like the more important resources that I have that are holding me back from playing more Arena is time rather than money, because like I played a little bit of Pauper, I played a little bit of Momer, and I was like, well, draft is more fun, so I'm gonna go just like dump some coins into losing some drafts now. By the way, I am really bad at Dominaria unless it's Omniscience draft.
I used to be great at Dominaria, and I've been getting my ass kicked
It's tough.
This round. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, I think it's tough. Like I definitely agree with you. I think that it would have been a really good opportunity to showcase a little bit more of the planeswalkers and stuff themselves if that's what they were going for. Because that's exactly it. Is like that being said, on the other side, while Ashiok is like a bomb in limited, right, in War of the Spark kind of thing, cards like Samet are like okay in limited, but were great in Momir.
Nuts in Momir, where you always have a 6-drop, 7-drop.
Yeah,
that
just comes out. So it's like maybe there was, I guess that on that in that light, like some planeswalkers that aren't as amazing normally were actually pretty great in Momir.
Yeah, Cube April I think tweeted that Kiora is better than it would be in limited because it's a mana dork.
Kiora was so good.
Kiora just lets you jump up 1 mana.
Drawing cards as well. Basically any 6-drop would draw a card off Kiora.
Right.
So now we're in the third week, which is my favorite Arena-only format, Singleton.
Yeah.
Singleton's back.
We can only play that on Arena?
Yeah.
This standard Singleton only exists on Arena.
No, you're right.
Right? Like no one else.
We used to get to play it on Moto. That's what it was called. It was called Standard Singleton.
Yeah.
Back in the days before Arena, sometimes you could play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not Brawl, because there's no commander, which I prefer Standard Singleton.
But the most, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
It's
Standard Singleton's cool.
Because it's such a fun format. They instituted the London Mulligan into this format. Just this format on Arena.
And Ben did not read the fine print.
No, I did not. And last night, I was like, I got home from Friday Night Paper Fight, and I was like, oh, sweet, Singleton's up here. And I built a Merfolk deck, sat down and was like, oh, this is a 1-lander. I guess I'll mull this. And a brand new interface came up that scared the crap out of me. Because it was like, what it does is, for those of you who aren't aware, I guess
I haven't done it yet.
The London Mulligan is a new mulligan where when you mulligan, instead of grabbing 6, you grab 7 again every time. And then depending on how many times you've mulliganed, you take that many cards from your hand and put it on the bottom of your library. And so what Arena does is it does exactly that. I mulliganed once, and then it scared the crap out of me because it brought up my whole hand tinier on the right-hand side, and then your library with, you know how like when you do the scry kind of thing, but that tinier on the left side. And then what you do is, you can rearrange the cards as you'd like. You can free grab them in your hand and see what you want to grab. But then you literally take the card and you drag it on over to your library and slide it under there, kind of a thing. And it's very good looking. It was sweet. It just, I did not read the thing. I was like, Singleton. And it scared the crap out of me.
Because they have, I guess, I don't know if we've mentioned it on Tap before, but they've said that the London Mulligan will be the mulligan going forward for sanctioned Magic.
I don't think we've mentioned it yet.
Yeah, and the Commander Rules Committee has said that they will be doing the same.
And the Highlander Council, I think, is planning on, they're not 100%, but I think they're like 75, 90%.
Right,
planning to just bring the
London
Mulligan over.
Because they're still using the Sorensen Mulligan.
We still have a Sorensen Mulligan in effect for all Highlander games, or all Canadian Highlander tournaments, which is where you get 1/7, then 2 6s, 2 5s, 2 4s, etc., and a scry at the end. But I think we're probably just going to replace it with the London Mulligan. Now, that's not official. That's just my read on the situation.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is like when I did it, it felt really good.
Yeah, it's a great mulligan for limited.
Nice.
Yeah.
I gotta admit. But I'm speaking as somebody who doesn't play a lot of combo and doesn't know the grand effects that it could have, obviously, right?
I think overall it's good for the game.
Yeah, I think it's been discussed a lot by a lot of different people, and if I had to TLDR the whole thing, it's the London Mulligan maybe could possibly help some specific decks, but not enough that it's relevant.
Yeah.
And it leads to more, quote, real games of Magic.
Yeah, well, Cam and I...
Which is a net positive.
Yeah, Cam and I joke about all the time when the Vancouver Mulligan came out and people being like, well, Delver is going to be like completely busted and stuff like that.
No.
Or people are going to get to flip what's his butt, the 1-drop 1/1.
Right.
Delver of Secrets.
Delver of Secrets.
Instant Delibration. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's going to bust that deck wide open, and it didn't.
No, it didn't.
Because you go, there's a land, put it onto the bottom, then you go, all right, I reveal a land.
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
Let me give you the most accurate foresight on the Magic community that anyone will ever do. And whenever anything changes at all, the sky will then immediately fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got it on the called it board, everybody, right here.
So what deck are you playing in the Singleton on Arena?
Well, so I've only played like 2 or 3 games because I played last night. But yeah, I'm playing Fishies. The Merfolk deck is really sweet. It works very, very well, even in the games where you don't get to explode off really quickly by dropping like a Lord or whatever. I ended up like getting into a board stall, top decking the Forerunner.
Tap your guys,
the Forerunner Merfolk, and then just searching for Kumena and outvaluing them via that kind of a thing. It seems to be like a really, really sweet deck.
I almost always play the same deck. It's obviously had improvements with War of the Spark, but Sultai mid-range.
Just running like Muldrotha and stuff like that.
Muldrotha for sure, but just like, Sultai control. This one's, the new build is less blue than before, but they're still blue, again, for like Muldrotha and stuff, but it's just, it's so good. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
If it doesn't die.
Cheeky addition to my Merfolk is Quasi-Duplicate.
Ooh,
which
very
is a lot
nice.
of fun.
I like that.
Yeah, even if it's just like making a couple extra of those unblockable 1/1s or whatever, and then putting some counters on them.
What about Spark Double?
I don't know I don't think I put Spark Double in there, but that wouldn't be a bad addition.
It's 1 more mana, but it also comes with a +1/+1 counter. Maybe that matters.
Well, that's the thing, because there's also that is it in War of the Spark? No, it's probably from Allegiance. The Simic Merfolk, the green and a blue. You can tap it. For 1 and a green, I think it is.
The
to
Guild
have
Mage?
creatures the Guild Mage, to have creatures enter with a +1/+1.
Combine Guild Mage?
Combine
Guild
Mage.
Yeah, it's goofy.
Sweet.
Also, I've definitely I countered somebody's like Gore Claw with Frilled Mystic, which felt really, really nice against the mono green Stompy list.
Wowie. So yeah, that's where we're at now, and then there's 2 more events. What are the
the next one is +1/+1 counters.
What does that mean?
Basically,
but that's not a format.
Yeah, I know, right? So each of your planeswalkers gets an extra loyalty counter, and any of your creatures with a +1/+1 counter on them will get an additional one. And if you have neither of these, you amass 1
every time you cast a spell,
or
or something, or every turn, or in your deck.
At the end of each of your turns, everything proliferates.
Wow.
Okay. Weird.
Okay.
And
We're
so
going to war.
Yeah. So for this one,
Mohu gets even bigger.
Yeah. The cards are Jaya, then Dovin, and Ugin.
Ooh.
And then after that, part 5 is Gideon's Sacrifice, and that is, sorry, boo 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 boo.
By the way, that next week's set, while you're reading the +1/+1 counters, I'm guessing, hopefully I'm wrong, but I'm guessing there's going to be exactly 1 best deck for that format.
Probably.
Yeah.
Ravnica Constructed is the final one.
Oh, cool. Okay. Block Constructed, we used to call it.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
And you get Huatli, Ashiok, and Sarkhan.
Nice. Neat.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's going on the arena at the moment.
If I could,
please.
One other thing. On top of that, they've been releasing videos on YouTube that tell the story and talk about the events each week as they come.
Is there a Linkin Park song for each one?
I believe so.
Whoa.
No. I don't think so. But
there is a link on the splash page for each event where it says "Experience the Story." You can click on it and it will take you to the thing.
They're also doing a free cosmetic card every week. They've been really giving out a code every single week for that. So this week it's Teo. Last week it was Obnixilis, and the first week it was... I can't remember.
The Teo code is Shields Up.
Shields Up.
Capital S, capital U. The last one was Was it 1 million or 1 billion?
1 billion gets you a pack.
Gets you a pack,
Okay.
but last week was Inner Demon, I know, for Obnixilis, I think. And
Capital I, capital D.
Yeah, and I can't remember who the first one is.
I got to look these up because I
Check.
haven't done them.
Yeah.
We'll be tweeting about it maybe.
Yeah.
I know that MTG Nerd Girl tweeted a whole bunch of these free codes recently. So if you follow MTG Nerd Girl, which you should, just scroll down. I don't think she tweets every hour or anything. Yeah.
But yeah, they've been really pumping this up. I think this is absolutely how you pump up a set.
Yeah.
On and endorse the Arena product. So I think they're doing good.
Over on Magic Online, you can play Modern Horizons now.
Already.
Yeah, Modern Horizons is already out, and I really do want to get my hands on it because I didn't get to play on stream the other day. And because it was super fun when we played it for the PPR, and it seems like a super, super fun set. But Nelson, what happens if you play at a LGS?
If you play at an LGS, you're going to, and I think it's the same on Magic Online. Like, do you know what you're going to pay to get into one of these pre-release events on Magic Online? Is it, for example,
it's not cheap.
It's not the same price as you would pay to get into a War of the Spark draft. Now, I'd like to back us up here on the timeline of 2019 Magic releases and Magic news. So at the beginning of the year, they let us know that Magic products were no longer going to come with an MSRP. And I thought, probably lots of other people thought, I'm sure the camp that came to this conclusion, oh, that's fine. That's ultimately probably good for the LGS, and it might still be true, because several products in the past have had an MSRP, and it's been kind of a problem. I'm looking at you, From the Vaults. From the Vault had an MSRP of, I think, $34.99 US, and I can remember the weekend one of them got released, I was at PAX, and one of the stores there was asking like $150 US, which was a pretty reasonable price for what you get. Like if you were to buy the singles from the Vault, paying $150, you can look, you can do the math and do the shopping and see that, like, From the Vault Exiled, I don't even know if you can put together for $150 today.
Right.
Probably not. So removing MSRP allows the local game store to charge what they feel is appropriate for a product
without the appearance of them, quote, jacking the prices up.
Yeah, without having to kind of take the flack from their customers about the prices being like unfair. Talking about fairness, like running an LGS maybe isn't the fairest thing to do to your career. And like trying to keep a paper Magic community happy is maybe not something you want to do unless you already have a master's degree in herding cats or whatever. It seemed reasonable that the MSRP was gone, but with the release of Modern Horizons, it seems like kind of the other shoe is dropping for letting us know kind of like why that MSRP was gone before. They let us know there's not going to be any more Master sets after Eternal Masters released last December.
Ultimate Masters.
Sorry, Ultimate Masters. My bad.
It's right there in the name. It's the Ultimate Masters.
Omega Masters is what I was thinking of as, but I knew that they didn't go with that. I don't know why they didn't go with Omega Masters.
Cool.
Anyways, there's no more Master sets, but there is Modern Horizons, which kind of takes the place of it. Now, the difference is, from the point of view of the retail employee selling these packs, a Master set was packaged so that the cards wouldn't necessarily receive any damage in shipping, I guess, and every pack had a premium card, a foil, right? So you at least had that difference, and I don't know if the cost is really that different, but at least there was a difference in the way it was packaged.
And the whole point of those sets was they were
they were reprints.
They were reprints of cards that had value, that everyone knew had value.
That's right.
With the intent of reducing the overall value, but they were still printing, Liliana of the Veil and Tarmogoyf and stuff, and cards that
Dark
cards that you knew had value. And if you opened, particularly if you opened a foil, then you knew there was a lot of value inherent in the cards.
And this kind of
Modern Horizons
soothes the fact that you're paying more for these Master sets, right?
Modern Horizons, these are all cards that are brand new to Modern. They have not found their home yet, and some may end up being valuable, but we don't know that.
That's right.
Inherently, a pack of Modern Horizons doesn't have a lot of secondary market value right now.
That's right. So that, combined with the fact that it just looks like a booster box of every other set, and it doesn't have, a shiny card in every pack.
It's got the art cards, which are
The
cool.
art cards are great,
but they're very much not a premium version of a normal card.
The art cards are great, and they replace a token, right? Are they there as well as a token?
As well as the token.
Okay, you get 2 tokens instead of 1 in these packs.
Yeah, you can get a foil token.
or a dual-sided token.
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay, so
Anyway.
that's something. But anyways, what you're going to pay for these packs is similar, not the same as what you pay for a Masters pack, but it's going to be more than what you pay for a regular pack. Anywhere you go, if you're buying a sealed box
and
from
because
your
there's
LGS
no,
or wherever, or if you're buying an individual pack,
and because there's no MSRP, this cost is being sort of extrapolated from how much the LGS is being charged by the wholesaler, and then how much they're being charged from Wizards.
Yeah, Wizards is charging more for this stuff. It's not just that the LGS or that Channel Fireball, the TO for all the Grand Prix, or wherever, like Bazaar Moxen, wherever you play Magic and you're paying money to play Magic, they're not necessarily trying to make more money, or they're asking for more of your money. They're just being charged more as well, so they're trying to keep things at an even rate. So that's tough. It's tough for the people in the position of asking for this extra money, I think. It's just like, hey, there's a pre-release going on, and it's like, it is the same price as a normal pre-release, but you get 3 packs instead of 6. So that's like how we're doing it. Yellow Jacket, right? Like you're paying what you would typically pay for a sealed as your draft entry.
So basically, your I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if I synthesized it, basically,
put the words.
You think that LGSs are in a situation where they are obliged to charge a price consistent with a master set for something that is not worth the value of a master set.
Yeah, I mean,
or not known.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's going to be.
Yeah, what's interesting is that, and this is the other aspect of it, that without the MSRP on the pack, to the consumer, it's not clear that the reason why it's more expensive is because
Wizards is charging more.
Wizards is charging more. And of course, from we deal with this obviously with Friday nights and various other things. That from Wizards' perspective, of course, they can charge $35 from the vault thing because they don't really acknowledge the secondary market in the same way. But obviously, they do to a certain extent because they know that it's more. They know that cards are worth more in some ways, but they can't sort of
they treat it
full on acknowledge it.
They treat it as the value, like the not monetary or not monetary value, but like the value, the feeling value to collectors, right? They look at like if a card is more collectible, they never money amounts never enter into it, but they know that cards they release will be more collectible than others. Right, so that's sort of how they look at it.
So you're saying like it would have been nice if they had done some sort of a little bit more premium packaging for this product to
or just charge less for it.
Charging less for it would have been fine. I think if they just sold this as an extra set that they're releasing this year, like they're already releasing Ravnica Allegiance, War of the Spark, Magic 2020, and I don't think we know
Commander, probably.
Commander, sure. Yeah, there's all the little releases, but like even just this is a booster pack release, and there's 4 other booster pack releases this year.
Yeah.
This is the 5th booster pack release this year, and I don't quite get why it has to be 25, 50, 100% more out of the players' pockets, since it's not a known quantity for them. It's just I haven't had to answer this question a whole bunch because it's just the pre-release now, but I'm anticipating they'll have to have this conversation.
That's the thing.
And I don't know what to tell my players.
Speaking as somebody on the outside of it definitely sounds like the initial idea of not talking about the MSRP to the retailers was a thank you. Now it's kind of we kind of get to have that anonymity a little bit with the pricing and whatnot, and it's sort of completely backfired in a way. Like now it just sort of seems like now that it is wholly on the retailer and whatnot, you guys are now the front face for that flag. You kind of were.
I definitely saw some people that had that take almost immediately when they were like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's great. Wait. Yeah. And so it's interesting because it's just like I guess from somebody who I played a decent amount of not a decent, I'd say an amount of Modern on Midgo and stuff. Like I played Dredge and I had to like sell most of my I basically, any draft I would do would go into buying towards a modern deck kind of thing. I was under the impression that not necessarily that Modern Horizons was an entry-level way for people to start playing Modern, but it was a way to facilitate that in a way and maybe institute new strategies that could help with that kind of thing. And that doesn't seem to be the case if it's going to be another case of Eternal Masters, Ultimate Masters, what have you kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's interesting. Although, like, I've been reading articles. Like, I know Emma wrote a good one about like what things might come out of. Emma Handy wrote one about what might come out of Modern Horizons and stuff. Slivers might for sure be a thing and stuff like that. Dredge, I think, is changing with Hogak as a really big thing. But I guess I really feel you on that. I don't know if, as a consumer, the idea of paying a comparable price that I would have paid for a pack of Ultimate Masters or Eternal Masters or something like that for Modern Horizons is reasonable, I guess.
I think if you're doing, I was watching Kenji draft or doing Sealed, and he was saying that like right now anyway, there's like no value in these cards, and so there's no reason not to do a Phantom event because they're just cheaper.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to keep these cards.
Yeah, like you might win the lottery.
Like it's fun. It's fun to play.
Yeah, it's super sweet.
Yeah, that's not up for debate. It's super fun to play.
Yeah, great draft environment.
You don't need
great draft environment.
Yeah, but yeah, it definitely does feel like the removal of the MSRP is like not even it's not necessarily truthful because they're saying that there's no MSRP, but by what they are charging the wholesalers and thereby the LGS, there is a price that has to be charged, or else the LGS isn't making money.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like if you buy a pack of War of the Spark,
there's just no publicly known MSRP.
Well, you can do the math. If you buy one pack and it's $5, you know that your LGS is making less than $5 on you buying that pack, right? So,
do you think like Modern Horizons, like I think fairly objectively, is more powerful in terms of like the cards in it are more powerful than like War of the Spark?
Yeah.
On average.
Say we have to play Sealed, or we're building Toolkit League. Is that kind of the objective?
Yeah,
field?
I guess
they're not legal in Standard, so it's a weird thing.
Right. I get. Yeah. I'm just thinking like if the packs were the same price as any other current pack, do you think that would be disruptive? Like people would be like, well, why the hell am I buying War of the Spark, or why am I buying
I don't think so.
all these other sets when I could be buying this set and getting better cards?
I like your line of thought, and I've put a little bit of thinking into it, and I believe that the answer at the end of that line of thought is that, well, we need there to be like a paywall to get out of Standard, because there already is. Like, I mean, is kind of like Wizards, experience design or whatever part of it is, like whoever's job it was to figure out how much to charge for this set that costs as much to build as War of the Spark. It's like
because they want people playing the format that rotates.
Yeah, Standard is like an important piece of the puzzle in terms of continuing the growth, like continuing the game. Like even if you just like playing Modern, or you just like playing Legacy, or even you just like playing Cube, or you just like Magic, Twitter, whatever part of it is, Standard and Draft existing pays for Wizards of the Coast to keep making Magic. So that might be the reason that they ultimately decided to make the price of Modern Horizons more expensive. If at a given LGS, the only set the players wanted to open was Modern Horizons, then pretty soon you just have a store that plays only Modern Horizons Draft and Modern, as opposed to a store that plays Standard, Draft, and Modern, or whatever else they play, Canadian Highlander, for example,
right?
If it's a good store. So that might be part of the reason, but it feels a little disappointing, I guess, right?
If that is just the answer.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to get that out of no one's going to come out with a public statement being like, yeah, we have to charge more, so you play Standard, right?
Yeah, so like there's an aspect of that that's like, tinfoil hat time, but there's also it's believable, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't want to be a wild conspiracy theorist. I just I have this thing I wanted to talk about today, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion, and I wanted to share my thoughts as a person who sells packs, because it occurred to me, just talking with my boss mostly, that I don't know what to tell the players. Whereas I used to say like, well, it comes in this cool box. Look at this Masters box. It's protected. Or hey, in MM17, I'm like, hey, it comes in a cardboard box.
Yeah,
Your
that was
pack
cool.
is in cardboard.
But also
but it had a foil in every pack too.
Like foil in every pack. General these
and your
these
odds
cards
to hit a
have
$50
known,
card is pretty good.
Yeah, these cards
right?
have a known
It's good.
value, and this is like there is not the premium card. There is not the known value of the set, and so it's a big ask to be like, yeah, these are $10. We're talking Canadian prices, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm curious. It's just like, I guess as somebody whose favorite format is Commander, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these. So the ongoing joke that always happens is every Master set or anything that comes out always is Commander Masters. This was Commander Horizon. People talk about that all the time. But I guess the fact is like I'm never not going to play Standard because I really enjoy that limitation of constructed.
Yeah.
But I would also, when I eventually get a little bit tired of the format, be able to play Modern, be able to play Legacy, and these kinds of things. And I guess, like, again, we don't know that this is the reasoning behind WotC's like different payment structures for these things and whatnot. But I think faith in a consumer is probably also not the worst thing to do, and it might be a big ask, but it's like I will. Just because it costs me the same amount to play Modern doesn't mean I'm not also going to play Standard and whatnot, right? And I mean, maybe there will be people who do just want to play Modern. I'm sure there are a lot of people that do that, the people who are successful at Modern and whatnot. But
is it the most popular format right now?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't actually have that information.
Sorry, I think Commander is actually the most popular format.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But yeah, it's just like I think a paywall for playing the game is always a little bit of a difficult thing to advocate for. And variety is, I guess, a little bit of the spice of life, especially when it comes to this game, because there's so many ways to enjoy it and stuff.
There's no wrong way to eat a Magic card.
Yeah.
To play a
There's no correct way to eat a Magic card, actually.
Don't eat Magic cards. Great.
So, I mean, I guess the question is, was the taking MSRP off a mistake and they should put it back? Like,
I think it was just sort of like a weird little Pandora's box where we had a good thing that came out of it that we could see.
Yeah.
And then now we have a not so good thing that has come out of it
but
that we are forced to deal with.
And it seems like it would be weird if it was MSRP was only on certain items but not on others,
Yeah,
right?
that would be bad, yeah.
Right.
Well, we'll see what happens there, I guess. That's going to do it, because woofa doofa.
It was a longer one.
Long
Sorry.
episode. No,
Thanks
that's
for listening to
fine.
me whine.
We had stuff to talk about.
A blue.
Really interesting. So, yeah, that's going to do it for this week. We'll be back next week, of course. A reminder that this show is brought to you by you and your kind supportive... Wait, no. I did everything in the wrong order. I'm going to rewind and start with, we're going to be at Magic Fest Seattle.
Yeah.
Right. Magic Fest, Card Kingdom, then Patreon. Okay, that's the order. So, Magic Fest... it's coming up real soon, end of June in Seattle, and myself and Ben, are you going?
I think I'm going to be there on the Friday.
Cool. Nelson's going to be there. We're going to have a booth.
Just the Friday.
We're going to have an actual vendor booth. Beach is going to be there. We got all kinds of stuff. We'll have all of our Magic-related shirts. We're going to have a ton of playmats, dice bags, including a limited edition Magic Fest Seattle playmat.
What?
Beej would like me to remind you that there's no cost to actually come into the building. You can just come up to our vendor booth and buy stuff.
Yeah, if you're in the Seattle area.
Public
if
open
you
events
want.
in downtown Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who else is going to be there?
Adam and
Cameron, Serge.
Yeah.
And I think and you and me, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
We said James?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think we
anyway,
got
we're
everyone.
going to be doing...
Sorry if we forgot you, LRR member.
We're going to be doing a match game with Tappy Toe Claws. We're going to be doing a live Tap Tap Concede. We're going to be streaming LRMTG from the show floor. We're going to be doing a D&D one-shot with Adam Kobold DMing.
What?
And then we're going to go to a WWE show on Sunday night.
Yeah.
But apart from that,
Hype.
we're going to be there for you to say hi. So come.
I
say
said
hi
hype.
to us.
Serge has also been asking us to also mention that everyone, Jeremy and Ben Wheeler are also going to be there
Oh,
too.
awesome, good.
Hype.
Advocating for that Highlander life.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So
Sweet.
Mhm.
Good.
North 100 crew.
So yeah, it'll be great. Come and say hi if you're going to be at Magic Fest Seattle. Right. This show has been brought to you by Card Kingdom. Check out cardkingdom.com/LRR for all of your cards because they're great. And finally, now in the proper order, get my order of operations down. This show is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Until next time, I have been Graham.
I've been Ben.
I'm Nelson.
And we'll talk to you next time.